Hey PELWELL family, and welcome to Pilates Sculpt. For today's class, you're going to need a bar or a chair, something to help you stabilize, a set of yoga blocks, and a light set of hand weights. So whenever you're ready, grab your equipment and meet me on your mat. Okay, so you are going to need that set of yoga blocks and your light set of dumbbells. I'm going to use 3 pounds for our first circuit. We're going to do some chair pose moves with the legs and then the light weights for upper body. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and grab that. Make sure you also have your bar or chair or wall handy because the transition from here to here is going to be really fast. So just make sure you have all your equipment ready. So for the setup, you're going to have your yoga block on its lowest setting. And if you don't have a yoga block, maybe you have a Pilates ball or something that we can just activate the inner thighs by squeezing. So go ahead and take that brick. You're going to place it in between the inner thighs. Now we're going to rotate the inner thighs towards each other to squeeze that block. So make sure we're not unactive. You can see the rotation of my block moving when I squeeze it in. So make sure you're rolling the inner thighs inward to find that squeeze. So we're going to come into that chair squat. So hinge from the hips like a deadlift. Bring your weights down in front of the chest. We're going to go into bent over flies. So straight arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're going to go up for 2 and down for 2. So it's really slow and controlled. So it can be easy to let go of that inner thigh orientation. So I need you to keep actively squeezing the inner thighs in and rolling them in towards each other. Make sure you're hinging from the hips and you sink deep into this yoga squat. So we're not just hinging from the hips like a deadlift. We're still in a yogi squat. So the knees are bent and the hips are hinged. Squeeze that shoulder blades together. Now we're gonna lift the heels when we pull the weight up. So a little tiny calf raise. So really, really squeeze that block. That's gonna help you stabilize. Make sure you're still in that squat. Don't straighten those legs. Exhale as you fly. We're gonna plant the heels back on. Plant those heels, and now we row. So nice and easy, controlled. We're gonna pull those elbows back behind the body. So as we row up, we're gonna sink into that chair. So we down and up, down and up. But when we come up, we're not standing. We're still in that chair squat. We're just getting a little deeper into those legs. So chest is up nice and tall. Squeeze that block. Hold at the bottom of your squat. Rotate your palms so they're facing away from you and reverse row. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, sink low into your chair squat. 3, 2, we're gonna rotate the hands upwards. So see how my elbows are in line with my shoulders, and now squeeze the block. Squeeze and in. Just like an old school thigh master, in and out, in and out, in and out. You got it, nice job. So you'll see that rotation, the inner thighs rotate in and out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold the squeeze, lift the heels and down. Squeeze that block, that's what stabilizes us. 2 more, and we're gonna sink deep into this. So drop the heels, down, down. So it's a little tiny pulse. Keep the core nice and strong. Squeeze the inner thighs, find that rotation still. Hold at the bottom, now open and close the arms. Make sure you're low in your chair squat. Let's add those heels, so up and down. Remember to squeeze those inner thighs. We're rolling them towards each other. Get low in that chair squat, we're not standing up. You got it, come on. Keep the elbows at shoulder height. 2 more. 1 more. Hold the weights in and pulse downwards towards the floor. Almost there, almost there. Stay for 5, 3, 2, and release, rise up. All right, you don't need your weights anymore, but you're gonna set your block on its lowest setting to the back right corner of your mat. We're gonna use our bar or chair or wall or whatever you're using to stabilize. Step your left foot back. Actually, I had this wrong, sorry. Set your block off to the other side and set your left foot on the block. So we're gonna lunge down for 2 and then come up for 2. So it's nice and slow. So the bar is just there to help you stabilize. Keep your core really strong and your chest is upright. Keep rolling those inner thighs towards each other, even though we don't have that block there anymore, so we can still find that inner thigh engagement. Make sure at the bottom you have those 90-degree bends in the knees. We're gonna pulse. One more. Take it down, chest up, pulse, pulse. Now the bar's there for stabilization, so try not to lean into it. Keep your chest up nice and tall. Keep your core strong. Stay for 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna lean forward, so come onto the forearms. Left leg lifts and down, up and down. So my right knee is bent, it's back into that little chair squat. Hamstring curls, so bend and straighten. So squeeze that hamstring. You're trying to get your heel to touch your tush. 2 more, we're gonna hold it up and pulse to the ceiling. So squeeze and now up. Don't stand up in the right leg. It's still in that little chair squat. Keep rolling your inner thighs towards each other so we still have inner thigh activation. Stay with it, you got it. Hold it. We now rotate and bring it in. So your knee rotates and turns to the back to the floor. Rotate and to the floor. So you should feel the outside of your right booty really fire up and that left glute and thigh. On the next one, hold it out and we're gonna pulse up. So make sure you're lifting the entire leg, not just the knee. Bring the foot with it. Right leg is still not straight. We're still in that little chair squat. We're gonna transition to come into bridges. It's a very quick transition. 3, 2, release. Grab the block, place it under the right foot. This is why I was thinking right foot. Right side, single leg bridges. So lift the left leg, and now drop and lift the hips on the right. Up and down. Keep your hips nice and square to the ceiling. Press hard through the right heel. Core is strong. You got it. You're grounded through the shoulder blades and through your right foot. Hold it up, halfway down and up. So a smaller range of motion. Should really feel that right glute and hamstring now. If the left leg straight ends up being too much, feel free to bend it, but we want to keep that foot floating so we have most of the body weight in that right side. You got it, stay with it. Fire up your backside, your posterior chain, come on. We're gonna hold at the top, stay with me. Hold it. Rest the left ankle on the right knee and now pulse. Pulse. Squeeze the booty. Make sure the left hip's not dropping off to the side. Pull that hip up, square your hips up to the ceiling. Press through the bottom of the right foot. Stay with me, we're almost done with this side. You got it, come on, we're almost there. We're gonna do a little hold at the top. 3, 2, hold it. Extend that left leg. Lower it to a hover. It's not on the floor, it's holding, it's hovering. 3, 2, and release. Awesome job. All right, now we have the other side to do. So now we're gonna take the block to the right side, what I wanted to do first. Okay, so we have that right foot on the block now. Left leg is forward. For this first set, we're not leaning into the bar, it's just stabilization, lower and lift. So barely put any weight into this bar, chair, wall, whatever you're using. It's just gonna help you to keep your chest upright. Core is strong, chest is upright. You got it, stay with it. One more, we're gonna hold at the bottom and pulse. So down and pulse. Chest stays up, Try not to lean into your bar, not yet. We're gonna go there in a second as we float that right foot. Stay with it. Keep pulling the inner thighs in towards each other, just like if you still had that block. 3, 2, lean into that bar, lift and lower. So this left leg is still in its chair squat. We're not straightening that leg, and we're not rotating the hips open yet. The hips are square. We're gonna go into that hamstring curl in 3, 2, hold it up, curl, lengthen, curl, lengthen. Don't straighten your left leg. We wanna load up to the outside of your left glute. We're gonna hold that curl and pulse the foot towards the ceiling. 3, 2, hold, squeeze, and pulse up. Left leg is still bent. Keep rolling the inner thighs in towards one another. Core is strong. Even with the bar for support, it can be easy to sag the ribs and feel this in the lower back. We're going into scorpion tail in 3, 2, open and close. Open and close, you got it. So I'm rotating from my hip. So although it slightly opens, we want to keep the skeletal structure nice and square. We're still bent in this left leg. It's not straight. One more, we're going to hold up and pulse towards the ceiling. So keep the leg open and pulse. We're going to transition quickly to go to bridges on the other side. 3, 2, and release. As quick transition as you can. Left foot on the block. Right leg goes extended, up and down through the left hamstring. Slow and controlled to start. Drive through the bottom of the left foot, specifically the heel. Ground through your shoulder blades. Core is strong. We're gonna hold at the top and go into half range motions. So on the next one up, hold, halfway down and up. So really, really fire up that hamstring. Left leg should be lit up. Stay with me. Breathe. You got it. Place the ankle on the knee, and now we pulse up. So starting from the top, and then we lift just another inch. So it's small motions. Try not to open the hip to the right. So square those hips up. Ground through your shoulder blades and through your left foot. You got it. Stay with it, come on. Ooh. Feel the back of that leg, feel that booty. Keep your core strong. We're gonna go back to that hover. So lengthen the right leg, lower it to hover. Keep your hips up, keep your hips up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down. Woo, awesome job. Release. All right, so we're gonna do a side laying series. So if the bar or anything's gonna be in the way, just kind of slide it out of the way so it's not going to be in your way. Grab one heavy dumbbell. So we're gonna take the top leg on this block. So your block is on its mid setting. We wanna rest the knee and shin on that block. So we're gonna focus on the inner thigh of the bottom leg. So the head rests on the arm. We're gonna use our heavy dumbbell to put it on the inner thigh of the leg that's on the floor. So flex the foot that we're gonna be working, and we're just gonna lift and lower. So just use your hand to kind of stabilize the weight on that hip. Let me move my microphone sticking into my hip. So make sure that top leg is on that brick. Flex the foot. So the leg that we're working, so for me, that's my left leg, drive the heel away from you. That weight is on the mid part of your inner thigh, so it's just adding a little resistance. Your hand is just there to stabilize the weight, but it's not actually holding the weight. We want to make sure the inner thigh is lifting. So you should really, really feel your left inner thigh. I hope you feel that in your inner thigh. My inner thigh is on fire. Keep driving to that heel. So I know as the inner thigh gets tired, it's going to be easy to want to start to point the foot, but I need you to pull the toes towards the shin bone. We're going to go into those little pulses at the top. Stay with me. 3, 2, 1. On the next one, hold it up. Little tiny pulses. Let's go. Woo. Dig deep into that inner thigh. You got it. This top leg is still actively pushing into this block. So make sure it's not like floating up here. That's your grounding. That's your stabilization to assist this bottom leg. So make sure it's firmly rooted into that brick. Whew, stay with it. Can you get the leg all the way off the floor up into your hip? You're almost there. You're almost there. We're going to switch sides. Stay for 3, 2, 1. Release. Awesome job. So just flip-flop over to the other side. Same exact setup. That top leg, which we were just working, knee and shin are on the block. The head is supported by the hand. That block is on the inner thigh. Flex the foot, drive the heel, slow lifting up. So when you lift, your goal is to get the entire leg off the floor. So all the way up to your hip. Make sure you're firmly pressing the top leg into that brick. It's your stabilization point. It's important. Try not to rest at the bottom too. So when you come down, don't let the leg flop onto the floor. It's gonna just kind of tap the floor, barely hover, and you're right back up. So we really wanna focus on that inner thigh. Don't hold on to that weight. Your hand's just there for stabilization. We want the weight in the inner thigh. And if the weight gets to be too much, just ditch it and keep moving that leg. You got it. We're gonna go into those pulses. Stay with me. All right, so hold it up, drive the heel, pulse. Whoo. Now we really feel that inner thigh. Stay with it. We're almost there. All we have left is a plank series. We're almost done with this bar. Come on. This Pilates Sculpt class, let's go. Get that whole leg off the floor all the way up to the hip. Don't point the toe, keep it flexed. You got it, stay with me. For 4, 3, 2, and release. Set that weight off to the side, nice job. You can make space on your mat, so you can set the brick off, you can set the weights off. You want to make sure that the bar is not in your way for your legs. So if your bar is in front of you, just make sure you're facing it. We're going to start in a high plank. So hands under shoulders, corkscrew the hands into the floor so the inside of the elbows are facing forward. We're going to lift and lower the right leg. So if at any time this gets to be too much, feel free to drop the left knee and come into a more modified tabletop rather than a high plank. But if you can, keep that left leg floating. Right knee to right tricep, here we go. Bring it in and back. So can you get the knee to actually make contact with that elbow? If you can, keep the foot flexed so we're driving the heel to the back side of our mat. Feel your obliques. Now cross the body. So right knee, left elbow. Keep that right foot floating so we're still firing up through the glute. We're going into push-ups. Drop both knees, come down super, super slow. All the way down and all the way up super slow. Super slow down, super slow up. Come to your midpoint of your push-up and we pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right into the left side. Float and lower. Drive through that heel. Shoulders over wrists. Crown of the head is pulling long. We're gonna do knee to tricep. Remember to drop that right knee if you need to. Knee, push back. Even if you're modifying by dropping that right knee, try not to drop the left leg. When we kick that leg back, we wanna squeeze the glute. So we have a little bit of core and a little bit of booty at the same time. We're gonna cross the body, here we go. Squeeze those obliques. Keep the shoulders over the wrists. Stay with it, you got this. All right, come onto the forearms. Back to the right leg, lift, lift. Again, if you need to, you can drop that left knee. Focus on the tush. Squeeze that booty, you got it. 3, 2, 1, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Sweep to the right and bring it back to center. Slow and controlled sweep, back to center. 2 more, 2 more. We're gonna switch right to the left side. Once you sweep it back in, left leg lifts. It pulses up to the ceiling, squeeze the booty. Stay with it, pull the crown of the head long. We're gonna sweep with control. Only enough that you don't have to twist the hips. 4 reps, here we go. We have a 1-minute finisher. Lower onto the belly. Take the knees wide, heels together, toes turned out. Forehead onto the hands. You're gonna lift the thighs from the floor. So it's like you're trying to kick the ceiling with your heels. Lots of hamstrings, come on. So heels together, toes turned out, knees are wide. Get your ankles over your knees, kick the ceiling. Lots of hamstrings, come on. Get ready for that hold. 3, 2, hold it, hold it, hold it. Get the knees off the floor, get the knees off the floor. Straighten the legs, hamstring curl. Straighten, keep the knees and thighs off the mat. Hold it, hold it, hold it. 3, 2 more, we're gonna hold it long, thighs are off the mat. Hold it long, stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. You made it to the end. Sit yourself back into child's pose, leave the arms long, find a nice long spine. Round the spine, come back through. And that brings you to the end of Pilates Sculpt.